We need to be low-key because the cops are here.
Hi, please watch this video all the way through because I have some really important things to say. I wasn't planning on uploading today at all, but I really need to share my thoughts with you about the Tana Mongeau and Cody Ko situation. But I don't want to talk about it the way everyone else has been talking about it, because I think there's something very important that people haven't been talking about with this. So of course, the brief rundown is that Tana and Cody Ko slept together when Tana was 17 and Cody was 26, which is known as statutory rape. They were both living in California, where the age of consent is 18. Gabby Hanna explicitly made Cody aware of Tana being underage, and Cody chose to sleep with Tana anyways, right afterwards. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Oftentimes, if someone does a bad thing, people treat it as an all or nothing situation. The truth of the matter is that bad people, or people who do bad things, can still have likable characteristics or talents, such as being funny and charismatic, or being a really good actor or musician. If you aren't willing to accept that truth, then you are endangering yourself and potentially others. People are accusing Tana of lying just because of her questionable past, or because they simply like Cody Ko. That's like saying that there's no way that blue can be used to make purple, because blue is actually used to make green, and green and purple look nothing alike. Although, as we know, blue does in fact mutually exist in both purple and green in equal amounts. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've seen this happen with other people in recent times. There are people who have been long-term fans of Wilbur Soot, aka William Patrick Gold, because they like the persona he put on in his content or the music he made. Just because you believe he makes good music or is talented, etc., doesn't mean that his ex-girlfriend is lying when she says that he was physically and psychologically abusive toward her. I used to like Wilbur, but for obvious reasons I don't now. That also doesn't mean I'm just going to turn around and lie and say that I've always thought his music sucked. That's not helpful. I'm just going to move forward, because if you try to rewrite history and act like these people were always completely worthless and dislikable in every way, then nobody will ever suspect the person who is charming and likable who is secretly manipulative and abusive. If a bad guy or someone who did bad things acted bad around everyone, then they'd never fool anyone into letting them have their way. I've never known much about Tana, but she was young and she had so much messed up things happen to her during the course of her career, and potentially even before that. People have always, in my opinion, been way too harsh toward her instead of trying to be understanding and empathetic toward her situation and her life. There's no such thing as a perfect victim. Someone can make mistakes and be wrongfully hurt by others. Someone can steal something, for example, and that doesn't mean that they deserve to be raped or cheated on or murdered or beaten. It is also worth noting that, to my knowledge, the kinds of things that people don't like Tana for are things that she has either learned from and grown out of because she was younger and, like we discussed, underage earlier on in her career. And the other things that people don't like her for were things that were never really important in the first place. I was a fan of Cody Ko, but I also know right from wrong. So of course I'm not going to support him or act like he's completely innocent. That's just not the case. He may not have directly groomed Tana, but he willfully abused his power as a public figure because he knew she was a fan of him. She admitted this, which gave him an easier in and she was a minor. He was and is 8 years older than her. She was not of or above the legal age of consent, and he was explicitly made aware of it. I used to be a really big fan of I'm Alex, who some of you may know about, who, as it turns out, was arguably way more abusive to the women in his life than Wilbur or Cody. I have never once questioned the validity of the victims and their claims against him. The most morally correct route will always be to believe the accuser first, until the accused can undoubtedly prove their innocence. It's about the safety and security of everyone who has been and could be hurt by these people if they get away with what they've done. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Hey, it's me.